Hey YouTube, this is Matt Stats, and we are back with another video, and this is part 2 of division of polynomials. So this is actually part 2 of division of polynomials. So before we move on, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And of course, you can always share it with other people. Without further ado, let's get active. So, today we are doing part 2, right? Part 2 of division of polynomials, and we're gonna look at actually I would say, more difficult division. Okay. So let's say, for example, we have this right here. We have 6u v cubed plus 9u squared v squared minus 3u cubed v, and we'll divide this by 3u v squared. I'm gonna do two divisions, or two different ways, because I know there are some people that might not be from the US, and so I'm gonna do it the way they have learned, which is also the way I have learned, and I'm gonna do it for those that are in the US. So first thing first, let's do the way that people do it in the US. So we would have 3uv squared, and we would have 6uv cubed plus 9u squared v squared. Actually, this is too close to that part. Let me write it down here instead. So we have 3uv squared. We would have 6uv cubed plus 9u squared v squared minus 3u cubed v. So how are we going to divide this? Well, let's see. We have uv cubed, right? First thing here is uv cubed. So what we will multiply by 3uv squared to give uv cubed. Well, we know that we would have to have 2. So 2 times 2 is equal to 6 already. And we would not need any u over here. That would be a 1. And we have a v cubed right here and a v squared right here. So that would be v. So v 2 times 2v times 3uv squared will be 6uv cubed. And we're going to subtract, then we go to 0 when you subtract. Then you bring down to 9u squared v squared. Now we have both u squared and v squared. So what would we need to multiply 3uv squared by to get u squared v squared? Well, we already have v squared on both sides, so that means we're not gonna need any v in the quotient. So therefore, we know that 3 times 3 is going to equal to 9, and u times u will be equal to u squared. So that will be u. And v squared is already good because we already have it on both places. So that would be 9u squared v squared, right? So that will be equal to 0. And bring down the negative 3u cubed v. And now we have u cubed. So what we will need to actually multiply to get this one? This now is a bit tricky because we have a v squared right here and we have a v over here. Well, we know that for the u, it's going to be just u squared. But for the v, what when we multiply by v squared, okay, what multiplied by v squared would be equal to v. Well, we know to do that, or what do? We need to divide this both by v squared. So that will be equal to v to the negative 1. So therefore here I'm going to have v to the negative 1. So now we will have v, that's a 1, right? That's a 1. 1 times 3 is 3. U squared times u is equal to u cubed. And v to the negative 1 times v to the power of 2 is equal to v. And that will equal to 0. Actually, my bad, that's the negative 2 right here. That equal to 0. So that's what it would be. I know that might be confusing, but when you see what I just did, you understand what it was about. Let's do the other way. So you're gonna have 6u v cubed plus 9u squared v squared minus 3u cubed v divided by 3u v squared. So what do we have now? We have 2 and the u that's equal to 1. V cubed v squared is equal to v, so that's v. So that will be 6u v cubed, and that's equal to 0 plus 9u squared v squared. So we would have 9 and 2, that's 3. U squared and u, that will be equal to u. So u squared over u, that will be equal to u. And v squared over v squared, that will be equal to 1. So that's going to be 3 times 3u times that will be equal to 9u squared. V squared equal to 0 minus 3u cubed v. So again, when you're doing the division, try to do it as you're doing it. Try to do the multiplication in your head as you're doing the division. So here, 3 over 3. So we're looking at these 3 right here. So these 3 divided by these 3 will be equal to what? It will be equal to 1. So that's equal to 1. This u squared, this u cubed divided by u will be equal to what? U squared. So that will be equal to u squared. And this v divided by v squared will be equal to what? That's what I was saying. So v divided by v squared is equal to v multiply v to the negative 2, which is v negative 2 plus 1, which is equal to v negative 1. So that will be v negative 1. And that will be equal to negative 3u cubed v, and that equal to 0. Therefore, this thing right here will be equal to 2v plus 3u minus u squared v negative 1. Or we could just write it as, instead of that, we could just write it as 2v plus 3u minus u squared over v. And that would be the answer for this equation right here. Boom. And that's it. Now, let's do a second example. We're going to do another example. Let's do this one. Let's do 2 minus 3x squared plus 5x cubed over x squared plus 3. So first thing first, I'm going to write this as 5x cubed minus 3x squared minus plus 2. But do you see any issue right here? Yes, there's an issue. There is no x. That's fine. Let's just work it with that one. All right. X cubed. All right. Is x squared plus 3. So let's do the exercise now. So we're gonna have x squared. Come on. Every time I put x, I put x cubed instead. Actually, you know what? Let me just do it down here instead. So we're gonna have x squared plus 3. And we're gonna have 5x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2. So I'm gonna work with that one. And if we come to any issue, we're gonna have to restart it. All right. So what would x squared and 3 have to do with this part right here? So we have a x cubed right here and x squared under 5. That'll be 5x. Right? So 5x times x squared will be equal to 5x cubed. And 5 times 3, 5x times 3 equal to what? Is equal to 15x. But wait a minute, we don't have any x right here. Well, this is where the problem becomes. What we're gonna do now, I would say this is a problem. There is no x in the dividend. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this equation. So we are going, to rewrite this equation, or I should say polynomials instead. This polynomial. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to add an x into it. So instead of that, we're going to have 5x cubed minus 3x squared plus 0x plus 2. Okay. We just added the x just to make life easier. All of that over x squared plus 3. Now, let's actually do the exercise again. So, we're going to have x squared plus 3, 5x cubed minus 3x squared plus 0x plus 2. So that would be equal to what now? We go with the as 5. So 5 over 1 is 5. X squared over x cubed over x squared equal to x. Right? Now 5 times 3 is going to be equal to 15. Right? 15x. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do exactly what we were supposed to do. Now we go to 5x x cubed. Because we don't have anything for the x squared, that will equal to 0x squared plus 15x. And that will be equal to what? That will be equal to 0x cubed, which is 0, and negative 3x squared plus the 0, that will be equal to negative 3x squared. 0 minus 15 is equal to negative 15x. All right? And now we're going to put down the 2. Bring in the 2. So that would be equal to, now, for negative 3x, that will be equal to negative 3, right? So negative 3 times x squared is equal to what? Is equal to negative 3x squared. And negative 3 times 3 is equal to 9. That's equal to 9, negative 9. But there is nothing for x, so that will be equal to 0x. So that will be equal to 0. This will be equal to negative 15x. And that will be equal to positive 11. And this is the American way. Let's do it the other way now. So we're going to have 5x cubed minus 3x squared plus 0x plus 2 divided by x squared plus 3. So that will be equal to 5x. Oh, bad. So that will be equal to 5x. So that will be equal to 5x cubed. And we have nothing for x squared. That will be equal to 0x squared. And 5x times 3 is equal to 15x. So that's equal to 0. That would be equal to negative 3x squared. And 0 minus 15 is equal to negative 15x. Put down the 2. Then we're going to have negative 3. Negative 3 times x squared is equal to negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times 3 is equal to negative 9. And there is nothing for the x. So that will be equal to 0. That will be equal to negative 15x. And that will be equal to positive 11. Therefore, the answer for that, listen, will be equal to the quotient, right? So which is equal to 5x minus 3. That's the quotient. Minus 3. And then plus the remainder over the divisor, okay? Which is plus the remainder, which is negative 15x plus 11 over the divisor, which is x squared plus 3. And that is your answer. Whew. Yes, that was pretty long, but I had to show you guys the way of doing this one. So, guys, if you're still not understanding this part of the problem, put a comment in the comment section to let me know. Hey, can you do another example to clarify so I can actually better understand this thing? You know what? Don't forget again to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This is part 2. I'm going to do part 3 because we also have to do what we call the synthetic division. This is Mastat. Hope to see you guys again. Until then, Mastats out.